Richard Cottrell from the United Kingdom.
Bonjour, je suis René Jean Imbert, j'arrive de France.
Ja, mijn naam is Edgar Keller, ik kom uit Duitsland, uit Köln.
Goedemorgen, ik ben Greet Flippo, ik kom uit Nederland.
Казвам се Светла Димитрова от България.
NOTRE Europe is a Paris-based think tank. Professor Fishkin is the inventor, let's say, of the deliberative polling methodology. And more than that, he's the person who's applied it over 30 times in the past 20 years nearly. This is the first deliberative poll we organized, so his help is tremendous. Because the concept is simple, but the complexities of organizing it are huge.
My expectations are really to meet with as many people as possible and learn from the conference.
My name is Mary Craven-Ludden and I come from Ireland. We're all part of Europe and we just have to learn as much as we can.
In English now, we are going inside, everybody sits as they wish. There is an idea to sit together and you sit as close as possible. And Mircea, please translate this into Romanian.
Eu sunt Mircea, bună ziua tuturor. D'abord, bienvenue à tous à Bruxelles.
First of all, I'd like to extend the most hearty welcome to all of you here in Brussels. Welcome in the heart of Europe, where political discussion with regard to the European Union is so very intense every day, almost every day. And we are so very happy and we're honored to be able to invite you here for the first deliberative poll.
English is on channel 2.
Quindi l'inglese sarà sul canale 2.
Italian will be 4.
L'italiano sarà sul canale 4.
And Finnish will be 10.
Il finlandese sarà sul canale 10.
The idea behind this meeting is that we get people from different backgrounds and different countries together in a room. And we talk. We share our ideas, our opinions, our experiences. We don't have to come to a conclusion. We don't have to have a final answer. What we do need to do is to think about questions that might come out of our debate where we would like to ask experts to give us advice. And as a group, we will decide on the questions that we want to ask the experts.
My name is Sinikka Ojala and I come from Finland. We have a large number of highly skilled and highly educated workforce, but for some reason we haven't been able to retain jobs.
Hi, I'm Paul from the UK. We've lost a lot of our manufacturing industry in the 80s, and I think there's some things you can't fight them in the sense of you can't be competitive with a country where they're willing to pay sweatshop wages.
Francesco from Italy. So I have a university degree, but I'm facing huge difficulties in my home country. I'm even considering moving to another country in the European Union in order to have my qualifications recognized.
Are our wages too high? Are we demanding too much? Are our living standards too high compared to some other countries and nations?
Okay, as a group, we have to come to a difficult decision. We have the opportunity tomorrow to put questions to experts. With everything that we've been talking about and the things that you've heard, is there a question you'd like to ask an expert that might affect how you think?
I think that the participants should all be at the same level. So I don't like the fact that the architecture suggested that some of the participants are high up and the others are far below. I want them all to be at the same level. So I'm going to intervene now. Hi. Hi. Good to see you. Boy, it's an interesting thing to do in all these languages. Yeah. Can I suggest? I have one worry. I know you're stuck with the architecture of this room, right? But I think it would be better if all the participants were at the same level.
Okay, but then you can't see.
I know. It's a trade-off. Yeah. But I think it's. We're very concerned never to introduce inequality into the process.
D'abord que c'est très bien, d'abord inviter des simples citoyens à débattre, parce que ce n'est pas toujours le cas. Ce sont d'abord les politiques qui débattent et pas toujours les citoyens.
Ich finde es sehr gut, dass man mal das Volk befragt und dass sie darüber diskutieren, was da in der EU gemacht wird und was da los ist, was da auf uns zukommt.
Die Spanier haben die gleichen Probleme, die Franzosen, die Belgier, alle, die in der EU sind, haben die Probleme, aber die werden selten angesprochen.
Parce que les politiques ont une vision de technocrates, quoi, de techniciens, et peut-être qu'ils ne demandent pas assez l'avis de la base.
Should EU governments, the member state governments, coordinate their decisions for jobs and pensions? Or should it be left to individual member states to make these decisions? Should the EU have a role to make sure that member states can provide the minimum basic pension?
Would that be an EU minimum or a minimum by each country?
It should be across the member states.
So that everyone
otherwise, what's the point of being in the EU? Otherwise, we just look after ourselves and forget about the EU.
Equivalent is the word, not equal. Equivalent.
So this is one issue where the EU can have no doubt what most citizens in every country want. Most citizens want each country to have its own pension system, and each member state will decide what benefits are and what is to be payable by each citizen in that country.
Here's a gentleman from Group 5 who has a new question to ask. Yeah?
What do you mean new?
New question because they...
No, it's the same question.
It's the same question.
It's because I wrote it out.
If someone doesn't reply to your question correctly, or you feel like there's something else to be told, you can ask them, like refer...
Do I need to come back up again?
No.
I stay there. Okay. We talked about the topic, went off at tangents now and again, and then we came back and we wrote to come up with one single question, which was very difficult because any single question had to have many parts to take in the whole group. And this question represents the group's final outcome of that committee meeting. So I hope it's answered.
We are going to start. Thank you for sitting.
Our question in Group 4 was, could the EU have a pot of monies for ex-communist countries to fund their pension schemes until their economy rises to support their own schemes?
Yes, we have employment problems. Obviously, in all the countries of and the new countries of the European Union, the solution is a stronger growth throughout Europe.
Hello, my name is Michael Buckley from Ireland. I work in Group 5. One of the EU's main core principles is a free labour market where workers can move to other member countries to find work. My question is, how do workers in high-wage cost countries continue to benefit from the free labour market, where they see their jobs being relocated within the EU to lower wage cost countries, and where existing workers already feel job insecurity as well as the prospect of lower real wage growth in the future?
There will be, and there is a problem with the free mobility in the sense that it may lead to competition between the workers, and that's why I very much is in favor of a better harmonized minimum legislation at European level, which leads to less of such internal competition.
How does a truck driver upskill himself?
Maybe he shouldn't drive trucks anymore, should do something else.
They seem to think the answer always laid in more skills and more education. So how can these people keep upskilling themselves and keep educating to what? If they're qualified doctors, if they're qualified dentists, if they're qualified hairdressers, what are they supposed to do? Hairdressing and plumbing?
It seems that a lot of average citizens basically do not have access to information, even though there's the internet, there's the television, there's the press, but still people do not have the access to information. Why? Because normally when they discuss things, they discuss only within their own social circles. Here they have opportunity to discuss with people coming from completely different backgrounds, completely different ethnic backgrounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats now. We want this debate to begin. We have some very distinguished politicians with us to whom you'll be putting your questions. We'll start with two of them, and later on they'll be joined by two more. So first, Sergei Stanishev is Prime Minister of Bulgaria. On my left here, Tommaso Padoa-Schioppa is Italy's Economy and Finance Minister, and he seems to have got into a bit of trouble this week when he was quoted as saying that taxes are a beautiful thing.
My name is Geoffrey Langdon from Wales in the United Kingdom. What is the role of the European Parliament within the institutions of the European Union?
The role of
the European Parliament within the institutions of the European Union consists in being the only institution which has a democratic basis.
The European Union is very imperfect, and the institutions of the European Union sometimes are over-bureaucratized and they impose their positions, but the European Union is working. It's becoming more transparent, and today we present such a debate, which is very important, and this is the best thing which can happen to European citizens of any nation. I believe it deeply.
Thank you very much. A remarkable event, all Europe in a room, and a chance to see what happens when people from all over the EU have an opportunity to think about what they want from the EU and the direction in which they wanted to go. Thank you all for coming and for playing your part so very well in tomorrow's Europe. Thank you.
What happens is when you've actually been informed, you have to agree somewhat with whatever the opposite argument was. So therefore, you have to either be slightly softer or slightly harder. There will, of course, be some issues you won't change your mind on, but in general, if you have more information, you must change your opinion slightly.
And signature?
No one leaves without filling it out.
Okay, I need you to put your ID card. And
The really important questionnaire is the Time 3 questionnaire at the end of the weekend. That's the most important thing. The whole project, from the social science standpoint, depends on that. It's criminal if we lose a single questionnaire from that. We did put Europe all in one room, demonstrably so. This was democracy with a human face. You could see a much more substantial form of democracy coming to life before our eyes. They did change their views. They changed their views on pensions, and in many ways, in quite unexpected ways, they changed their views. First, there's obviously a big caution flag about new integration. There is still bare majority support for the idea of adding more states, but it went down with deliberation. With Turkey, it went from 55 to 45% supporting the admission of Turkey, even if it met all the conditions. I'd say there's modest movement in the direction of more EU integration, but it's only modest, and it falls far short of a United States of Europe or anything like that. So we brought Europe physically together, and then we brought Europe in its attitudes and its viewpoints much closer together. They also ended up liking each other. We had a series of questions about whether people you strongly disagree with, do they have good reasons for their views? And support for that proposition went up a lot.
Would you claim deliberative polling gives a politician a better idea of the true will of the people than any other opinion poll or even an election?
It gives a politician a better, more accurate impression of the informed and thoughtful will of the people. If that's what you mean by true, yes.
I don't think the public should be consulted about a technical issue or, an issue like how to build a nuclear submarine or an MX missile. The public should be consulted about the basic direction of where they want policy to go and the competing values and trade-offs and visions. How much are they willing to sacrifice for this? What do they gain? Are these things that they're willing, in a sense, to collectively consent to?
What you see in a deliberative poll is what people think when they are thinking about the issues, when they do have some information, and they're talking about it with a wide variety of other people with a wide variety of viewpoints.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay.
As I say, it's been real.
Well, it's been a great pleasure, actually.
Yeah. Well, us too.